Greetings to everyone. It is a matter of immense honor for me to present to you a brief outline of my MPhil thesis. I, Rehmania Aman, and presently I am a PhD scholar at the Archaeology Department, University of Peshawar. The title of my thesis is Spal Bandai Mosque Swat, an analysis of the wooden art and architecture. All praise to Almighty Allah, most beneficent and most merciful. This thesis would not have at all been possible without the help of Almighty Allah, encouragement and prayers of my family, loved ones, and guidance of my teachers. It was a privilege to have the research work of MPhil being supervised by Professor Dr. Naeem Qazi, Department of Archaeology, University of Peshawar. He always endorsed my ideas. He has been a great mentor, offering advice, encouragement, and insights that led to the writing and completion of this work. It was an honor to work with him. Table of content: Introduction of the present research, background of the study, significance of the research, research objectives, research problem, findings of the research, conclusion, and recommendations. Introduction of the present research. Swat Valley became an internationally known tourism destination for its natural scenic beauty. Swat Valley is home to a number of landmarks of archaeological and historical sites. In 18th and 19th century AD, craftsmen of Swat Valley used to practice the art of wood carving for the ornamentation of the architecture. The dominant features of wooden architecture reveal a clear influence of Buddhist Gandharan motifs on the works of craftsmen of this valley. The impact of Islamic culture on the art and architecture in this area was the result of advent of Islam in the 11th century AD, with conquest of this area by Mahmud of Ghazna. Muslim wooden architecture got matured and institutionalized by virtue of its continued practice and application spreading over centuries. The carpenter, that is, wood carvers, had acquired mastery in floral motifs and geometrical patterns which would owe their origin to the Buddhist Gandharan art. How to document and preserve such a rich wooden architectural heritage of Swat Valley is the focal point of this research. This case study is revolving around a mosque known as Spal Bandai Jumat. The study identifies the importance of its architectural elements and decorative motifs. It further highlights the craftsmanship in respect of art and architecture. The Spalbandai village is located within Marghuzar at a distance of 8 kilometers from Sadhu Sharif, the capital of Swat Valley. Spalbandai village is inhabited by one family known as Ahun Sher Miagan. The village comprises approximately 300 houses. The Spal Bandai Mosque is well known for its fascinating art and wooden architecture. It is also known as Jamia Masjid Shahid Baba Spal Bandai. Spal Bandai Mosque had been from time to time upgraded by additions and modifications, which had the effect of obscuring its originality. With the support of Prince Claus Fund, Swat Participatory Council hired the services of architects for preserving the mosque. An old picture of Spal Bandai Mosque, an inscription engraved on a top of the capital in Nashtali style that dates back to 1221 Hijri, which means no human in this world will be without grief. If so, he would not be a human. Before construction of the mosque, after construction of the mosque, artistically carved wooden columns of excellent quality of four kinds of wood, namely deodar, Himalayan, cedar, walnut, and pine, go a long way to show the magnificent structure and captivating decoration of the mosque. I focused on finding out ways and means to document and preserve the craftsmanship of woodwork, techniques used, and motifs conceived and brought into being by the craftsmen in such wooden architecture, and to present a workable model plan to replicate such art for keeping the art as well wooden architecture alive for Swat Valley, its locals and visitors. Spal Bandai Mosque is a lens subject through which the frame object of the study has been viewed to observe the wooden architectural elements of this mosque with a view to find out the reasons for decay of wooden art and architecture and to figure out a model for their preservation. Background of the study. The first ever mosque in the Swat Valley was constructed during the Ghaznavid era. It was observed that such mosque had wooden columns to support its roof, but this is an observation made on the basis of scanty evidence available on the site, as such columns are no longer in existence, but the stone bases thereof are the only remains of such mosque. During 19th and 20th century AD, some research work have been done on the architecture of wooden mosques in Swat Valley. Italian archaeological mission had conducted a survey in Lower Swat and Kohistan regions in relation to wooden mosque architecture. Extensive research through survey led to the discovery of as many as 75 wooden structure mosques. Only 6 mosques exhibited in survey report. An article titled Wooden Mosques of Swat and Deir and List of Monuments authored by Inayatur Rahman was published in Journal of Central Asia in 1989 July. The said author was entrusted with the critical task of beginning exploration for documenting intricate wooden mosques situated in Deir and Swat. 56 wooden mosques have been recorded in the survey report. Sir Ornstein, Ambashirato, Ahmed Hassandani, Muhammad Nazir Khan, Ghaniur Rahman, and Luca Mariani made efforts to study wooden architecture. Literature and site visit of Spalbandai Mosque reveal that this masterpiece is rapidly decaying. Not only this, the very art and craftsmanship of woodwork are also on decline. Preservation of art and wooden architecture of this valley is essentially for three reasons: to prevent decay of architecture, to keep this art alive, to revive this art, and to preserve the landmark for benefits of the valley, its locals and visitors. The literature survey, including interviews conducted during this study, revealed that the architecture available in Swat Valley dates back to Buddhist era and Gandhara period. Such architectural structures and elements, including material used therein such as wood and stone in the buildings, reflect influence of Buddhist and Hindu culture thereon. The craftsmen are found to have been influenced from Muslim art as they made use of floral and geometric instead of sculpture and figurines. As regard other aspects, we find combination of Buddhist and Gandhara architecture with Muslim architecture. The architectural elements of Spal Bandai Mosque also reveals the same features on capitals and columns. Significance of the research. The literature survey reveals the importance of this research project through the role of various factors in dealing with such like issue. There is no ready-made recipe for preserving such historical and architectural national assets. This study aims to prepare a perspective to the students of archaeology, history, culture, tourism, fine arts, and other related disciplines and help understand the reasons for rapid disappearance of this archaeological site and remedial measures for their preservation. Research objectives. To undertake digital documentation for preserving the vanishing wooden architecture of Spalbandai Mosque, to study the wooden columns, motifs, and decorative patterns of the Spalbandai Mosque. Research problem. The woodwork art and wooden architecture used in the mosque are likely to disappear in time to come if no timely steps are taken to document, maintain, and preserve it in its original form and content, with wooden structure, specifications, designs, motifs, and kinds of wood used therein. If this historical wooden architecture of this mosque goes vanished owing to want of care and failure to document and safeguard it, the very art and craftsmanship will become debris of the past. Findings of the research. Architectural descriptions of the mosque. Plan. The plan is simple and elegant to raise the beauty of mosque consisting of a prayer hall, a veranda, a madrasa, a space for ablution and flat roof resting over columns topped by capitals. The columns in this mosque are richly carved with floral and vegetal motifs. Winter prayer hall, summer prayer hall, courtyard, madrasa, terrace. Entrance. The door entrance, which leads from the veranda into the prayer hall, has varied decorations on its frame with rosettes and leafy motifs. Veranda and courtyard. The veranda and courtyard accommodate almost 800 persons on Friday prayer and 200 people during five times prayer in normal days. Columns. The columns of the prayer hall, topped by capitals, are round and fluted except one which is square in shape. The shafts of these columns are separated from the base by horizontal rows of decorated bands, and the base itself is marked by phytomorphic motifs. On the capitals, we find rosettes, honeycomb, and saw-tooth patterns. On the other hand, the columns of the veranda are round and fluted. Their shafts, capitals, and bases are all highly embellished. Summer Prayer Hall. There are A to V 22 total heavily carved summer prayer columns in Spal Bandai Mosque. Winter Prayer Hall. Pillars of Winter Hall lack decorative elements as compared to the pillars of Summer Veranda. The total number of columns in Winter Hall are 24. The numbering of the pillars are from south to east order. Decorative motifs collected from the Spalbandai Mosque of Swat. Motifs: rosette, lotus, sheaf, palmate, acanthus, neck ring, sawtooth, foliage, sun disk, patron, wine scroll of leaves, carved out pendant motifs. Decorative pattern: lattice of rosette pattern, overlapping scales pattern, half drop semi rosette pattern, rhombus grid, alternate round petal pattern, scattered pearl pattern, inscription. Spal Bandai Mosque of Savati structure is a product of environmental and social circumstances. Its decoration and ornaments establish close linkage with social values of the area. There has been found in it phytomorphic and geometric motifs. Other feature is embellishment by different floral patterns, displaying birds with flowers and highlighting intermingling of vines and creepers. I have seen elements of floral decorations such as rosettes, birds, acanthus leaf, lotus, and flowers with tendrils, wavy stems, and foliage. Other thing noticed during visit is the use of geometric patterns like circle, lattice of rosettes, overlapping scales, rhomboidal grid, half drop repeat of half rosette, and checkered board pattern. All these motifs, patterns, design, and decorative framework with touch of floral and geometric pattern go a long way to enhance the beauty and grandeur of Spalbandai Mosque. All these also reflect tolling efforts and extensive hard work of artisans who used to possess the quality and mind of artist and skill of craftsmen. Parameter determining typology of capitals. Number 1. Bottom of the first volute in relation to bound of spiral. Number 2. To raise of spiral. Number 3. Top of the first volute in relation to upper projection. Number 4. Formation of the volute in relation to 4a amount of curl, 4b width of volute, 4c shape of the edge spiral of volute, 4d shape of the spiral attached volutes, 4a proportion of deepest curl. 5. Outside way of the volutes. 6. Shape of ending close of capital. 7. Closing point of the projection. 8. Slightly ornament. 9. Shape of the middle part of capital. 10. Deepness of carving in volute. Wood carving tools. Chisel has a straight cutting edge that is perpendicular to the side edges. It is meant for outlines or the simplest geometric ornament. V-tool. Notched is essentially a joint, two chisels which are joined together to create a V or cubic if cut on three sides. They can be cut parallel to the surface or obliquely if the relief is modeled, as in most of the ornaments. Gouge is a chisel with a concave blade usable for decorative borders on pillar, chairs, and chests. Skew chisel is a bevel edge chisel with an angled tip and is used for supports, half columns, corner posts, etc. Fishtail gouge is a gouge that flares out at the ends to form a fishtail shaped tool. Conclusion: I found the use of wood as an important material in the construction of Spal Bandai Mosque of Swat Valley. The use of timber with application of aesthetic sense by the artisans in the making of Spal Bandai Mosque is highly fascinating. The skills and creativity of the woodcarvers in decorating the surfaces was severely conditioned by a rigorous Islamic way. The study revealed that a small number of simple tools such as chisels and gouges were enough for a woodcarver, enabling him to carry out the decorative art and work he had learned by observing the art and work of his father and grandfather. This tradition of woodcarvers was very amazing. Silent feature of wooden decoration is the quality of the wood used because its natural surface was such as to be adorned with novel patterns. The artisans have repeatedly used the same with different styles, which has the effect of making it a novelty. I observed the frequent use of geometrical patterns as elements of decoration. The same have been and may create varying beautiful patterns. Recommendation: wooden art and architecture of Swat Valley is though being preserved by the artisans themselves by way of transmission of their expertise from one generation to the other. But that is an unorganized mechanism without proper patronage. Therefore, there is a dire need of preserving this important national asset in an organized way under the patronage of government. Government of Pakistan in its ministry concerned and Government of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa in its Awqaf, Museum and Culture Department need to redeem their constitutional pledge for preservation thereof within the meaning of Articles 28 and 251 of the Constitution of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. They need to take immediate necessary steps in this regard. Organizations like small industries boards and woodworking centers operating under the control of provincial government in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa may be asked to open special wings under the name Wood Art and Architect, hire services of experienced local artists and artisans as employees to carry out the art and architecture for local market and to train others so that this culture is safely transmitted to the posterity. Besides that, such artisans need to be given jobs in such organizations as aforesaid so that they may feel more pride and pleasure in their toiling efforts to preserve this culture. In this way, they will be compensated on the one hand and they will train new team for times to come. Through this way, this culture will further prosper and spread. Woodwork pieces of art will become source of income for government as the same will be sellable not only in local market but the same can also be exported to earn foreign exchange. Most important thing is that in all these efforts, the policymakers must stress that only local art and architecture should be preserved in its original form and content, without any addition or alteration thereto or by importing other trends. These designs, motifs, geometric patterns, and upholstery, which are novelty of wooden art and architecture of Swat, if applied in textile and fashion and designing industry, it will promote not only the art and culture, but will also add dividend to the earnings of such industries, thereby generating lot of wealth for government. Thank you. Thank you very much for listening to this presentation with patience. I hope this effort is of help to researchers and students of this subject.